There are few connections in life that are more intimate than the one between a ball player and their glove. A piece of leather or synthetic material perfectly molded to the hand of the player. Each glove has a story, and I'm here to bring it to life. This is Glove. Hey, what's going on, Glove Flip Nation? So today we're going to be talking about a glove that sold out in 20 minutes and raised $4,000 for charity. So as always, we're going to go over the specs of the glove, and then we're going to tell the story of the glove and what went into creating this masterpiece. Alright, then after the story we have a special message from one of the Philadelphia Phillies. Alright, before we get started, let's see if we can get 100 likes on this video, and leave a comment down below what your favorite MLB team is. Because you know what? You already know my boys. The Tigers. And obviously we got a close second. The boys, the A's, lost out in the first round. Come on. Alright, let's get right into it. So as you guys are going to see, this is a very unique glove. The pocket pattern is actually a prototype designed by the glove community and Rawlings. I'll just hit on the more generic specs and then go right into the more unique aspects. So for some of the generic specs, this is a Rawlings Heart of the Hide. It is 11.5 inches. The web is a one piece. And honestly, I think that's all that's normal about the glove, other than we got some gray leather. Now time to talk about the more unique specs. The model code is a Pro 64 T1D. So the Pro standing for Heart of the Hide, 64 for the prototype model, but this model is a 6J pattern, which is a Japanese pattern, and the T1D stands for Type 1 diabetes. The palm stamping is done in black, which isn't even available in the custom shop. This is all Pro department features. We have the pitted sheepskin liner, which is in all the Pro preferreds. Heart of the Hides typically have deer tan cowhide. The wrist patch is the oval logo that is usually on the thumb. The web is laced in blue for diabetes. The rest of the glove is in black. Usually only one tone of lace goes on the gloves, so that's kind of what makes this little part unique. So for the trim, we have the speed shell, which is actually super light. I'm not sure how it would fare in the whole glove if I replace it with the leather, but the trim is unreal. And then instead of the Rawlings oval logo on the thumb, we have the Fuld extension thumb embroidery. The last little thing here is that the thumb loop has 3 laces to tie into the knot instead of 2. This wasn't really in the specs, but this is something I noticed while I was like playing around with the glove. Now that we've gone over the specs, let's get right into the story. But this time, I'm not going to be telling the story. Instead, we're going to be joined by the one who started this line of gloves for Type 1 diabetes. The man running the ship and spreading positive vibes everywhere he goes. He has the most glove knowledge of anyone I know. Jay McAvoy, or as some of you guys might know him, Pickle the Beast 417. Jay is the absolute best, and he's going to be joining us via video to tell the incredible story of this glove and the ones before it. This video was filmed in the glove room, and possibly one of the greatest stories you will hear this year. Also, please take a look at Jay's background. He has hundreds of gloves.
Hey Mitch, Jay here. Welcome back to the glove room. I wanted to answer a couple of the questions that you had about my efforts with Type 1 diabetes charitable efforts and talk about these beauties right here. So, let's get started, shall we? The first question that you had was about how I got involved with the Type 1 diabetes community. And my best friend, JD Wilcox, played baseball at Stanford. His teammate, Sam Fuld, has Type 1 diabetes, and he put on this charity wiffle ball tournament in Florida for the last couple years, and JD invited me down. This is in December of 2015, and I had a great time, but I really wanted to make sure that I talked to the parents, talked to the kids about what it's like living with Type 1 diabetes, and that was really a life-altering experience. One of the parents that I talked to said, I've never slept since my daughter was diagnosed. I haven't slept more than 2 hours a night, and then going on about 5 or 6 years. And the reason why is because of that fear of going low in the middle of the night. And it's very real. It's a very lethal disease. It's not talked about as much. And it's the type of experience that once you have it, you have to take action. You can't sit on the sidelines and just say, what we should do. Thoughts and prayers don't save lives. And getting out there and actually making a difference and helping people that need it and raising money and just doing what I can for other people in general. I feel like that's what I was built to do. So I put together a couple of plans of action, I guess, and raised a good amount of money not using baseball gloves for the next year in 2016. But in May of 2017, getting to the gloves now, I emailed softball fans, Chad Johnson in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I said, I have a custom request unlike any other. I want to do a pro department glove, but I want to do a very small run of them. I want to buy 6 or 7 of them, and I want to sell them, and I want all of them to go to charity, and I want a logo on it, and these are the specs that I want. I just went kind of all out and said, this is what I want. Where do we stand? And Chad said, let's figure this out. And we got on the phone, we talked over the specs again. He talked to the folks at Rawlings, and then he said, okay, we went back and forth about what we can do. And the whole process took about 3 weeks, and we were at a design spec. And this is what we came up with. This is a black oiled Horween 12-inch Pro 206 with the T1D, Slam T1D patch there. And we got a couple of pro department features like that hand sewn well. And this glove really means the world, because this was the beginning. This is the beginning of something great. It took for a while for them to sell out because people didn't really know what it was I was doing. They had to do some research on what Slam T1D is as an organization out of Vermont. So there was a lot of questions that people had. And as I kind of tried to help it grow and nurture it a little bit, I started to solicit for equipment donations, and it really kind of caught on. The next year when Easton got involved, Rawlings continued to stay on top of it, and they were just fantastic, just huge supporters of this initiative. And I'm so thankful to Chad and to Ryan Farrar, Lindsay Neighbor, Chance Carlin, and Bobby Newman at Rawlings. Fantastic human beings, all of them. We ended up doing this one a year later, and it just kind of started to take on a life of its own. And it's always been very special to me to be able to do any of this. I'm a nobody. I'm just a dude. I love baseball gloves. I'm very knowledgeable on them. But at the end of the day, I'm just a normal guy.
I also had asked Jay about the contents of the glove box, and here's what he said.
You had asked about what the contents of the box really means. Hope where there was despair, a voice where previously there was silence. The Fuld T1D Sports Camp is basically just a weekend for type 1 diabetic kids to go out and get some exercise, right? But it's so much more than that. A lot of these parents have never let their kids kind of off the diabetic leash because it's so freaking lethal. It's got to give these parents just anxiety attacks, knowing that they have to release them out into the world, and you got to know if you don't know if you trained them right. I'm like that with my kids now, with my 5.5-year-old daughter who's in kindergarten. When I drop her off at school, am I doing the right things as a parent? You add on the responsibilities of type 1 diabetes, it has to be awful. It has to be so, you have to be so anxious all the time, I'm sure of it. A lot of these parents have never let go before. And it means a lot that they are surrounded at the University of South Florida by professionals in the T1D community. Not just people that understand the first aid and how to deal with hyperglycemic and hypoglycemic kids, but just being, a lot of them are diabetics themselves. And these people are not just people with diabetes. They are amazing human beings that are dealing with a lethal disease every waking moment of every day. And people talk about heroes, and I think that type 1 diabetics are just a beautiful form of an everyday hero, to me at least. And these gloves, at the end of the day, yes, it is just a baseball glove, but the money that we're able to raise to get these kids to these camps, to help with advocacy, to help give them that community, means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Sam, it means a lot to the parents, and I know that it means a lot to the kids. A lot of the parents ask me how long I've been a diabetic, because it's just something the majority of people that are there are. and I tell them that I'm not. But they know who I am. They know why I'm doing what I'm doing. But they don't get it that it's because of what I've seen. It's because of them. The reason why I do any of this is because of those parents. It's because of those kids. Again, it's not because I'm special. It's because they're special. And that's the reason why I do all of this. And it's been a very meaningful journey for me. And, you know, what's in the box is so important to them. And it's so important to me that I show these families that they're not alone in this fight. It just doesn't have to be just T1D affected parents and children that are in the fight together. Is that I'm kind of one step on the outside looking in saying, I get it. I'm with you. I will always be with you. Let's fight this together. Let's do what we can together.
I just want to thank Jay so much for telling the story of these gloves and also just making a creator of an impact in the baseball community in the absolute best way possible. For everyone who's been a part of the T1D efforts, whether it was the glove, donations, or just spreading awareness, Sam Fuld, player coordinator for the Philadelphia Phillies, has a message for you guys.
What's up, everybody? It's Sam Fuld with the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm over here in Cleveland taking on the Tribe. Big game tonight. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to everybody who helped support my 9th annual T1D sports camp being held in Tampa, Florida, as always, this February. Thanks to Jay McAvoy for spearheading those fundraising efforts. Really appreciate the support. Cannot wait for another year of camp. Thank you to everybody who pitched in and got their hands on a new glove and helped support a really good cause. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Stay grassy.
I'm gonna finish this video off with a little quote from Jay, because this is how I've met most of my friends and been involved with different baseball events. And honestly, I think this relates a lot to the glove. A kind word or a helping hand can go so far in the lives of others and have an effect that we cannot even begin to quantify. You can make someone's day. You can make a new friend. You could save someone's life. Be kind, say hello, and stay grassy. Alright, Glove Flip Nation, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo! God, I gotta get better at flipping with a catcher's glove.